From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo. Mediated talks to resolve a labor dispute at British Columbia ports broke down last night in Vancouver, and no new talks are scheduled.
The lockout has paralyzed shipping at British Columbia ports, with the BC Maritime Employers Association saying contract negotiations were called off yesterday after no progress was made in meetings with a mediator. The other party involved, the International Longshore and Warehouse Union Local 514, says the Employers Association ended talks with the mediator less than an hour after they began. The talks were mandated by the federal labor minister early last week. Around 700 port workers who have been without a contract since March of 2023 are affected by the lockout. David Bowles, The Canadian Press.
Canada has turned up its first presumptive human case of avian flu. BC's health ministry says a teen in BC's Fraser Health region has tested positive for bird flu and is getting treatment at BC Children's Hospital. Test samples have been sent to Winnipeg at the National Microbiology Lab for confirmatory testing. Provincial Health Officer Dr. Bonnie Henry says this is a rare event, noting only a handful of cases of bird flu caused by the H5N1 strain have been detected in humans elsewhere in the world. Police investigators and workplace safety staff are expected to remain on site at an Alberta pizza restaurant today after a pickup truck smashed into a building and killed a 24-year-old female employee at the Boston Pizza in Fort McMurray yesterday. Looking for work is a challenge for most people, but it can be especially challenging for those in their mid-50s, as prospective employers may be reluctant to hire what they sometimes see as expensive or overqualified candidates. Laura Hambly, founder of Canada Career Counseling, says upskilling and networking can help.
Showing that openness to learn and the openness to mentor other people and use that level of experience to help others in the company and help, just positioning it as an advantage, not a disadvantage.
Ellie Berger, who studies age and work, says the biggest struggle for seasoned workers is when they're outside and trying to get back into the workforce. And the first Saturday Night Live since Donald Trump's election victory began last night with the most somber of tones. A group of plainly dressed cast members described their new reality of a U.S. president-elect who tried to overturn the results of the 2020 election and whose return to office has shocked many. Then NBC's liberal-leaning show took a swerve, with the cast declaring their reverence for and obedience to the former and future president. They introduced a new character dubbed Hot Jacked Trump, played by James Austin Johnson.
From now on, we're going to do very flattering portrayal of Trump because he's frankly my hero. And he's going to make an incredible president and eventually king.
This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the Toronto Argonauts and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are packing for Vancouver, where they will meet in next Sunday's Grey Cup Championship at BC Place Stadium. The Argos, despite losing quarterback Chad Kelly to a broken ankle in the third quarter, beat the Montreal Alouettes 30-28 in Saturday's East Division final. The Blue Bombers whipped the Saskatchewan Roughriders 38-22 in the West Division final. In the NHL, the Edmonton Oilers scored 3 goals in under 2 minutes in the third period, then coasted to a 7-3 win over the Vancouver Canucks Saturday night. William Nylander and Mitch Marner each had a goal and a helper as the Toronto Maple Leafs whipped the visiting Montreal Canadiens 4-1 for their third straight win. Brady Tkachuk scored 21 seconds into overtime, and Ottawa beat the Boston Bruins 3-2. And the Winnipeg Jets set an NHL record by winning 14 of their first 15 games of the season as the Jets beat Dallas 4-1. From the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.